All right. Good morning or midday or whatever it is. Hey, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you are here. Just putting away my phone here, it was distracting me. I had such an amazing week, folks. Like probably a little more than a week now. Do you know that when you start working on a project and you just get so deep into the zone? I think I talked about this feeling on stream a couple of times before, and yeah, it's just been amazing. You might have guessed it from the title of the stream or the video I did last week, yesterday actually, or blog posts I wrote last week. Anyway, I wrote a small package, a syntax highlighter in PHP from scratch. It was so fun, and I'm actually so close to tagging a version 1 release. I might actually do it on stream today in an hour or so. There was one thing I wanted to check out before doing that, and that has to do with PXP. Have you heard of PXP? PXP is this superset that's created by Ryan Chandler. Let me share my screen here. This is PXP. It's a beautiful website. I really love the simplicity of it. But yeah, let's read through this, and then we'll talk about what we'll do on stream here today. PXP is it stands for PXP Extended Preprocessor. I really like how it's like the same like I don't know what the word is, but acronym kind of style as PHP. It's a collection of tools and libraries that aim to make working with the PHP programming language more enjoyable and productive. PHP has been around for nearly 30 years. It has evolved significantly over that time, but we believe that there is still room for improvement. Actually, I think PHP Wikipedia, I think actually this year is the year that PHP gets 30? Oh no, 95. Okay. I thought it was 94. Anyway, but we believe that there is still room for improvement. PXP is an attempt to address some of the shortcomings of PHP. Does PHP have shortcomings? I don't know. Yes, it definitely has. And make it a more modern, powerful, and developer-friendly language. I like that. How does it work, Ryan? Explain it to me. Well, PXP isn't just one thing. It's a set of different tools that work together to provide a better development experience for developers. PXP's goal is to be fast and reliable. Modern versions of PHP are pretty fast, yeah, but for things like static analysis and autocompletion, we need to be able to parse and understand PHP code quickly. That's interesting. I actually didn't know this was part of PXP. This is why PXP is developed as a hybrid system, powered by a combination of blazingly fast Rust code and simpler, more flexible PHP code. Okay, Rust is used for the heavy lifting, things like parsing, type inference, etc. And PHP is used for the higher level stuff, code formatting, refactoring. Okay, cool. This does mean that PXP core development sometimes requires knowledge of both Rust and PHP. This is getting a bit confusing. PHP in this case. But we think it's worth to provide the best possible performance. I think you're absolutely right, and this is something we're seeing in the JavaScript community as well, right? So people are using tooling around JavaScript in Go and Rust because of performance reasons. Vid is coming to mind. I did a video about Vid with one of my colleagues a couple of weeks or months ago. What are the different project tools and libraries? Okay, there's a superset language, and this is what we'll focus on today. This is where they all started. This project aims to create a new language that is backwards compatible with PHP, whilst also introducing new language features and syntax to improve developer experience. Here are a few examples of what this superset language might look like. So right now, it's still a work in progress, right? And this is just Ryan Chandler's hobby project for now. I really hope this grows into something bigger. Multi-line short closures. This should just be in PHP, folks. But okay, let's not wander there. Type aliases. So you can, you have these type declarations just like in TypeScript, I suppose. Generics, folks. Generics. Perfect. Pattern matching is also a pretty cool one, right? I'm not really familiar with this syntax, but it's an extension on existing match. And yeah, I guess it's pretty straightforward, right? So point a point with y equals 1 will match this branch, and a point with anything, I guess, will be put into the y variable, and then, okay. Cool. PXP is also a language server, a tool that provides your code editor with information about your code. It's a thing that powers stuff like autocomplete, go to definitions, and refactoring. And this is an important one because there used to be this superset attempt for PHP. It was called pre. And the problem there is that it didn't have IDE support, and that was a real big issue. But with PXP, Ryan is actually working on a language server, which is supported by editors like VS Code, but also PHP Storm supports language server since I think 1 or 2 releases ago. So that means that it like if Ryan manages to pull this off, there will be IDE support, which is crucial for a project like this to succeed. And it's great to see that he's taking this into account. Since PHP, it's a real tongue twister. Since PXP involves building a new superset language, we need a language server to provide all the cool features that you'd expect from a modern code editor. A super fast, super reliable language server is essential for a good developer experience, so we're putting a lot of effort into making sure that ours is the best it can be. The fact that we're creating a superset language also means that this project benefits all PHP developers, not just those using PXP. That's actually pretty cool. That's really interesting. Okay, static analyzer part. Building a static analyzer is also a big part of the project. Definitely, a language server requires some form of type inference or deduction. If we're already doing that, we might as well build a static analyzer. Of course, definitely. Hopefully, by now you can start to see how all these projects fit together and how much code can be shared between them. Code formatter and linter, it's just keeps going. Again, we're building a new language, so we need a way to make our code look good. Much like the language server and static analyzer, the code formatter and linter will be built on top of the same core libraries. It won't just help PXP users, it will help all PHP developers. That's pretty cool. And who is behind all of this? His name is Ryan. Ryan is the person behind PXP. He's been a PHP developer for quite a few years now and always been incredibly interested in other fields of software development, such as programming language design, compilers, and static analysis. He started working on PXP as a way to scratch his own itch. He wanted better development experience when working with PHP and thought that the best way to achieve that was to build the tools himself. It's just Ryan working on the project right now, but once things start to take off, he's hopeful that more people will join, basically. Cool. That's PXP, right? Definitely go check it out on GitHub. It has such a nice logo as well. And this is Ryan here. Hi, Ryan. Hello. So yeah. Why did I read all of this? Well, first, it's a super cool project, and I really believe that it has potential to like steer PHP into a new era. I've written about this a lot. I've talked about this a lot. Either we go the transpiling pre-processing route that PXP is taking, or we make it so that PHP itself gets, I don't know, some kind of more static support for stuff like generics and stuff, because generics ain't happening runtime. I don't believe in it anymore. We need runtime, ignore generics. We need some kind of static analysis tool that's endorsed by PHP internally or by a superset like PXP, because the benefit here is that you create a new programming language that compiles to another programming language, and during that compilation phase, you can do all kinds of type checks, right? So generics is just the perfect example here, because generics are a compile time static tool, right? You don't get any value from them at runtime, or at least maybe a bit for meta programming. I'm just I find myself just rambling on about generics. As soon as I start, I can't stop. I want to say hi to people in chat here. Brent, Regex, Roos. Yeah, we're going to Roos. Why am I saying it's Rosa? Anyway, we're going to write some Regex today, believe it or not. Adrian is here. Daryl is here. Marcin, I guess. Hi, thanks for joining, Benjamin. And let's take a look here. Oh, Jean-Marc, bonjour once again. It's great to see you back here. And Adrian's saying, yeah, Hacklang and Hip Hop VM, it's the way, it's kind of similar to this, right? There was an era where PHP was really lacking, and Hack emerged from Facebook, and they wrote an own compiler for it. And you know, it pushed PHP to step up its game, right? I don't know if we need like a project that pushes PHP to change. Maybe it's good that there's just an independent language. I'm hopeful for this project. If there is one project that will succeed, PXP really has the best chance at it. So Ryan is here. Hello, Ryan. Glad you can make it. Frederico, or however your name is pronounced, you're here as well. So nice to see all of you. I've been rambling for 10 minutes now about PXP. I actually want to do something with it today. You might have noticed that I created like this package here, Tempest Highlight. It's been real fun. I said it at the start of the stream as well. I just went into the zone like you cannot imagine. I got up at 5 and I started coding until my kids woke up. And then I coded some more throughout the day on it. It's a real fun project. It's actually pretty small and it's not all that complex, but the end result is pretty great. It makes it so that you can, believe it or not, highlight code, right? I'm using it here on the work in progress Tempest docs. This is all server side, and it supports modern PHP. It also supports a handful of other languages, and I still need to add some more support for other languages. But right now, let me actually check here language. What we support right now, that's Blade, CSS, doc comments for JavaScript and PHP, GD script, because someone, Christopher Pitt, actually the person who wrote like the previous preprocessor, is the one who is now working in Godot, and he needed syntax highlighting for GD script. HTML, JavaScript, JSON, PHP, SQL, Twig, XML, and YAML. So that's what's supported right now. And today on stream here in the next half hour, I'm going to add support for PXP because I want to. It seems like a fun little thing to have. And I hope everything will work out. Basically, that's the plan here today. Let's dive into it. If you haven't seen anything of what I've been doing here, I published a video yesterday. I should mention that before we start coding. Yes, this one here. So go to the channel right after this video, after this live stream. You can watch this. I wrote a code highlighter from scratch. This was a real fun video to make. You really want to check it out. Do give it a like. Also give this live stream a like while we're at it, you know, it helps out. And like I give some background information in this video about how this thing works, but you will be able to follow along just fine. Believe it or not, it's not all that difficult to write a syntax highlighter. There are some edge cases. There are quite a lot of edge cases you need to take into account, but I'm like, after having worked on this for almost 2 weeks now and implemented a couple of languages, I feel like I have a good grasp of what's possible here and how it works, and I'll try to explain some things along the way. Let's zoom in here as well. So this is some PXP code, right? I just took it from here. So this is the first thing we want to add support for is type aliases, which I don't think will be all that difficult to do. So let's go here. This is just my test file. And we're going to start up with creating a new language, right? So languages here, let's say PXP. But we're not going to start from scratch because, as Ryan explained, PXP is actually, it builds on top. It's a superset of PHP. So we're going to extend PHP language. There are two concepts in this package: patterns and injections. We'll go through them when the time is right. So I'm just going to add some boilerplate here. Get patterns, and I want to do it like this so that we use all the patterns from the parent class and use all the injections from the parent class. I'll show you what's happening here in PHP language. It's just a list of lots of regex patterns, right? And the list goes on and on. And a couple of injections. Injections, we're going to have to use them to add generic support. So we'll come back to those. Okay, so the first step here is we have this line of code and we want it to be colored correctly. The first thing I see is new keyword type. That will be pretty straightforward. New keyword pattern type, like so. And now one more thing we have to do before this will work is add register our new language here. So PXP. This package, by the way, is written to be extensible from the outside. So anyone can build their own language highlighting or add new patterns and injections to existing languages. If there happens to be some bugs, I don't know why that would happen. And it doesn't work. Of course not, because one more thing I have to change here is, say we're using PXP. Okay, so that works now. Next thing here. So we have a type and label. In this case, we define the name of the new type, and then there is a collection of other types that are assigned to that type. So let's first color this one. We're gonna make a pattern for it. Let's say patterns, and let's call this PXP type alias pattern, like so. This class should implement pattern, and I have a trait here, use is pattern, and then I can implement these two methods. So this pattern here, get pattern method, should return a regex pattern, right? And the token type in this case will be token type. Token type, like this. Types are colored red in my case, right? Okay, so the pattern here, what I want to do, and I wrote about this on my blog as well, is I have a attribute here, a pattern test, because I don't want to write big test cases for all of my patterns. There are already more than 100 classes here. That gets annoying, and these attributes just provide shortcuts to have dynamic data providers, basically. So a pattern test. Say we have this as our input. Let's actually do it like this. We have this as our input. The output should be label. That's the thing that should be targeted, right? Okay, if I rerun my tests now, well, this test, it will fail because, where do I want to move this to? Right bottom. Because indeed, oh yeah, here's the, so the pattern in this class did not match label. Instead, null was found. Yeah, that's right, because we haven't implemented our pattern yet. Okay, let's go to my favorite website. At least for the past 2 weeks, it hasn't been anything else but writing regexes. So this one will be pretty straightforward, I think. Something like this, and we want 1 or, well, 0 spaces is possible, I guess. No, here it isn't. Here we need 1 space. So we just write it like this, right? So, okay, now it matches. And now the last thing we need to do is give this group a match ID. Does it seem like magic to you? I don't know. I haven't done anything else, but this. And look, it works. One more thing we need to do is to go to our PXP language and add our pattern here. So new PXP type alias pattern. And let's give it a try. Yes, it works. Okay. So yeah, this is the kind of thing I've been writing for the whole week, basically. Let's try to color all of this, right? And I'm gonna make a pretty greedy pattern here, PHP type, let's call it definition pattern. Maybe Ryan can tell me what the right wording is here. So if we have this, we expect this to be the output, right? And it should be a type as well. And okay, let's write a pattern for it. So we actually already have the beginning of our pattern, right? 0 or more spaces, and then everything until the semicolon, I would say. So let's do it like this until the semicolon. Yep. And then this should be called match. Okay, let's try that out. Rerun our test. It works. And new PXP type definition pattern. And okay, that's that. Oh, Robin is saying the text is pretty blurry. My IDE text. Let me make it a bit bigger, like so. I'm actually. Oh. Okay, so I think you get the basic idea, right? You write a regex pattern and you say how that should be colored. Of course, there's an abstraction in between, because like these let me actually show you token types here. They are there's a theme in between, right? That maps token types to, in this case, terminal style, but there's also a CSS theme, which I'm using, of course, right now, which generates a class, basically. So if it's a keyword token, we'll use the HL keyword class, and you can see that's what's happening here. There are a bunch of spans here. Okay. Good. Do we want to look at generics? Because that's more interesting, actually. Let's take a look. Let's do it like this. Okay, so okay, what's happening here? Apparently, these are being colored as properties right now, which comes from PHP's patterns, right? I don't know why this is colored like this like now. We can debug that. But it will be more interesting to just try to get this to work. And just as a little more of a added difficulty for me, I want to color generic types in a different color than my type, right? This is something that PHP Storm also support. If you do something like template T, right, and then return, for example, class string T. At return, you see the generic type is colored differently than the type, and I think for me that's real helpful. So yeah, Ryan is saying here, before we move on to generics, the only nitpick is probably that union intersection operators should have a different color. Yeah, I actually had that first. I personally don't want that. Oh, I removed my because I feel that the type is just this as a whole, right? I could easily color them differently, but nah. Yeah, opinions probably. I don't know. PHP Storm also colors them differently, by the way. So you're absolutely right to suggest it. It's just that, like for example here, see, the pipe here is colored differently. Something for consideration. Let's add my generics back. Let's just copy it from here. So I was saying that I want generics to have a different color than normal types, basically. So to be able to do that, we'll need to do a little bit more things than what we're used to. Because look, we're defining a generic type here. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the hang on, class foo t. That's the syntax, right? Let's first start with a simple example here. Oh yeah, there's no auto-completion because PXP is in the no language. Public function foo returns t. Okay. So if we would just write a pattern to match this syntax, that would work, right? We can target everything between square brackets and color it purple, in my case, highlight it as a generic token. But what about this one here? I'm actually going to make it a bit bigger here, have a different name. Yeah, so how are we going to do this? We will need some kind of like state and know which generics are available in this code snippet, and then color other types that match that generic names as generics. Okay, let's try to do that. We will need another concept for that, and that's called injections. Let's say PXP generic type injection, and you'll see how injections they provide a bit more flexibility, basically. So let's PXP language. We'll add this empty injection here, new PXP generic type injection. Okay, and we should end up here now. Okay, so what an injection does, it just gets the content, the thing we're trying to parse, and you can do whatever you want with it. And you can either return a string, which is the manually parsed injection, do whatever you want with it. The new result is this, or you can give it a parsed injection value object, which is the string, the same, but also has an array of tokens that should be parsed as well. Anyway, I think for now, returning a string will be fine. So this is what we're working with, right? And we want to detect whether there are any generic types, and generic types are types defined between these square brackets. So that's the first step. We get the generic types, and then we try to color all the rest. So we're going to write a regex for this. We're going to target this one, and once we have this name, we can replace all the rest with like generic colored tokens. And so to do this, I don't think this is all that difficult for now, right? Because there will be a bit more to it than this, but so like so. Okay, that's not all too difficult. Let's say preg match. Match all, actually, because there can be multiple generic definitions within. And this is our pattern. And then we have content and matches. Okay, let's dump out our matches here. Okay, so, okay, this is our first match. What we can do now is say preg replace. Let's actually think about this for a second. No, we'll need to loop over our matches. So matches, match as match, sure. And then we'll do a preg replace here. So content equals preg, that's a mouthful. Preg replace. So we're going to replace all instances of this token here with do we need a preg replace actually? Let's just try string replace first. We're going to replace match, right, with a parsed version of that, and we'll use content here. Okay, like this. And what we want to do is wrap our match, so our generic class name here, in generic tokens. And within injections, you need to do a bit more work to do that. You need to say escape tokens, and then we'll say, oh, we need to get theme here. Theme is highlighter get theme. And then we say, okay, theme, we insert the before token, and that's token type generic. Ooh. Generic. I'll write it in full. I don't know why this happens. Token type generic, right? Then we'll add the match, and then we'll say theme after token type enum generic. Like so. Okay. So what happens if we do this? Yeah, you can see this is why you need escaping, by the way, just so that, yeah, there are no collisions between HTML escaping and parser escaping. I actually think this looks right. Let's return content. And ooh, that's a problem. Let's debug that. I'm just checking chat here, and Aiden is saying, I was having a conversation with Aiden 2 weeks ago about how I didn't like regex, and well, here I am. Actually, what we might need to do is add an injection escape here. Nope, that definitely didn't work. Well, it did kind of work. I have, oh yeah, of course. Okay, so hang on, let's dump content here. This is why I need a preg replace, I think, but so maybe not. So T class name matches T class. I'm gonna use a preg replace because it will make it easier to debug all of this. So content equals preg replace callback. Let's use I think it's gonna be something like this. Match, I guess. The callback, and then the content, right? Okay. Let's dump out match here. Okay. So what if we then, let's do it like this. Okay, so we have 2 matches. That's good. And we return nothing, so it's broken now. We'll return this. Now we have a closure where we can debug, which is a lot more easy. Okay. Oh, why is array here? Apparently. Oh, I'm generic class name. So like this. Nope. Actually, let's let's take a quick look at what I did in my implementation here. Yeah. That generic over here. Okay, so this matches generic dot blocks, by the way, in normal PHP. Let's take a look here. Let's copy over this. So, oh yeah, just did a preg replace, and let's do it like this, right? Okay. So I added some word boundary tokens here that might actually solve the issue. No, it doesn't. Uh-oh. So But I know like this is the content everyone likes to see the most, right? Me struggling. I don't really understand why it does this. I can always try something differently. Let's actually do that. So instead of just returning a string here, which makes things difficult. Okay, so what I'm doing now is capturing the offset as well. And by doing that, I can create tokens. And those tokens can be passed to the highlighter. And then I don't have to worry about string replacements. And I think that will make things a bit easier, right? So I'll show you what I have now. Well, actually, let's do the matches array. So, oh yeah, there's only one match, of course, because we first need to match the tokens between brackets. And now okay, so we don't have to do this. We need to do another match for preg, offset capture, and generic class like this, and it has to have word boundaries. Oh, let's copy these over because I won't be able to write it in without my debugger here. So like this, and so this is my group. That's fine. It needs word boundaries. Oh yeah, and we need to like so. Okay, that's the pattern we need. Let's put that in, and instead of a hard-coded name here, we'll split here and add our match. This one, right? Okay. So now we basically have a dynamic regex pattern. This pattern here that will match everything with class name, and it will also capture the offsets. Okay. And generic class matches. Let's format this a bit more so that we're keeping sane. Okay. Now we'll loop over all generic class matches. Let's actually take a look here. Generic class match. We need this. Yeah, so this array here, it contains like both names with their offset. And now what we can do is tokens equals an empty array, and we'll say tokens new token. So for every match we have now, we can create a new token. We say the offset equals this one, the value equals this one. Oh, and the type equals token type enum generic. And what's the error here? Nothing. Type is here. That's weird. PHP Storm is drunk. Type is here, right? I don't know. Okay, so now we should have, if we dump out tokens here, let's take a look. Now we have two tokens that match the start and, well, that match the exact position. And now instead of returning a string, we'll return a parsed injection. And I hope then it will work. Parsed injection, new parsed injection. The content equals content and then tokens. Christoph is here. Hey, look, it's just working, right? And to make sure, test that like non-generic functions, they are colored differently. That's nice, right? Okay, I did like mess around a little bit, but after all, it's really annoying that this isn't an error, PHP Storm. I don't know. I'll have to make an issue for this. Let the record state that this is not an error. Hey, but this is pretty cool, right? Let's add support for multiple key value stuff. Whoa! Nice. I should move this here. Okay, so they won't be colored now. That makes sense because I'm not doing the correct match here. Let's actually fix that. So key and value, for example, how are we gonna gonna do that? We're going to match commas and spaces as well, right? Okay, but now we'll have a big match with one type. So let's take a look here. So we still have to explode it. I actually don't know if there's an easy way to do this in regex, to target key K and V in this case separately. I don't know if there's an easy way to do it. There probably is, but I'm a regex noob, believe it or not. 2 weeks ago, I was saying I never wanted to use regex. So, but an explode works as well, right? Generic types equals explode on this match. Oh, what am I doing? And then we'll loop over those generic types as generic type, and we'll move all of this in here, and we got to make sure that there are no spaces. Generic type equals trim. Okay, pretty cool. And use it like this. I need a better name for this. Generic type match, something like that. Okay, will it work? No, it doesn't. Okay, so we have K. That's good. That's good. Dump. That's okay. So we have our two types here, but we still need to properly target them. So let's take a look at my pattern here. Okay, yeah, no, that should work. That should work. Okay, it does actually target the right place here. So let's take a look at what's happening. What's happening here? I actually have matches. K at 10 and K at 45. So that's all fine. Why doesn't it work? It's gonna be a real dumb reason. I actually have my 4 tokens for K, for V. Yeah, okay. Why isn't it colored? Because there's a property within the generic. This is actually something that needs fine-tuning, but if we go to token type, so I don't know why this is matching property. There's another rule in PHP language that matches K in this case. That's okay, because we already have a there are rules here that define whether a given token can contain another token, and apparently for generic, I said that everything can be within generic tokens except types, which is totally not the case. It should be false, and there it is. It works. It works, of course. This was, I think I added this like long time ago, probably a week or something, for debugging, and then I forgot about it. And now it works. And as you can see, there's no token, property token here anymore. And it works. Cool. As Chris is saying, wild. I like this. I like doing this. Some people might not see like the charm in it, but I really do, actually. So, with all of that in place, I think we have support for generics, and we still need pattern matching. But actually, I'm running kind of low on time. Not really, but I still have a meeting to attend. And I wanted to do another pretty important thing here. So I'm going to park these changes in PXP. Let's push them, just to be sure. Oh, I had to commit some stuff, of course. Oh, I'm sorry for my cough. PXP support. That's okay. Believe it or not, but my cough is actually back, and it's super annoying. So PXP support work in progress. My cough was gone for a week, and now it's back. So I have another doctor's appointment, but my doctor is gone for 2 weeks, so it will be another 2 weeks. Oh yeah, I pushed without running Composer QA. Sorry. Let's do that. I actually need to add tests for this as well, but I'm not going to do that on stream because I wanted to do something else that's pretty important. And that is actually to tag, like casually tag the major release. Is that okay? I worked on this for 2 weeks, and you know, yeah, I'll add PXP in a minor release. I figured I wasn't able to do all of it today, but we got generics working, which is the most important part. Let's remove this here from the README. Okay. README, the most beautiful commit messages. Let's actually double check here. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna tag the major release now. It's been done since yesterday or the day before, actually. So yeah. Yeah. Let's do it. And I think that's a nice way to end the stream as well. This was such a fun package to work on. And yeah, now it's released. Yeah, pretty cool. There's not much to it, but I mean, now people can actually use it as, and I promise to keep it like, do not make any breaking changes. So yeah, if you want to check out the code, it's here, and there is, I would say, good documentation on what it can do and what it cannot do. I also wrote some blog posts about how to make things yourself with this package, which is pretty nice. So if you want to contribute a new language or work on existing languages, or if you like, I'm using this highlighter and it's not doing exactly the thing you want, you can always just extend from an existing language, register it again, and like make changes with specific patterns or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. This was a real fun project to work on, and well, I hope it will be helpful to some people at least. It is for me. I'm using it on my blog already, using it in the Tempest docs, and I actually still need to use it on RFC website as well, now that I think of it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. With all of that being said, I want to thank you for watching, And I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And then I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye bye.